that if you're looking at AI as a way to solve a problem, such as getting faster deliveries, getting better customer service, you're not quite getting what AI is for.
Welcome to the New Talent Playbook Podcast, your go-to resource for building exceptional teams and thriving businesses. Each episode delivers actionable insights on harnessing offshore talent, integrating innovative technology, cultivating a vibrant company culture, and attracting and retaining top performers. Subscribe now to never miss an episode. For more resources, visit the newtalentplaybookpodcast.com, where you can download this episode's free workbook designed to help you apply today's insight to your business. And now, here's your host, Rob Levin.
Today, I'm here with Gal Bornstein, a veteran brand strategist and marketing executive with over 3 decades of experience helping B2B and B2G technology companies build credibility, visibility, and trust. As a founder of the Bornstein Group, Gal has worked at the intersection of strategy, communications, and competitive advantage. He's the author of several influential business books, including Don't Believe the Hype When Trust is on the Line, and his latest, Beating Goliath with AI, both exploring how leaders can compete and communicate in an era of disruption, misinformation, and AI. Gal, welcome to the show, and let's dive right in.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to it.
Great. So the topic of the hour, the day, the month, the year, the decade, maybe for all of humanity, what's the real opportunity for small and mid-sized businesses with AI right now?
I think the single most significant power that is being given to small to mid-sized businesses is really a force multiplier. It's the first time that companies can consist of 2 software developers that are developing software service, or for all you know, somebody who's decided to market a new coffee and needs 10 or 20 people from accounting to marketing to different kind of functions within the company. And any entrepreneur, or at the point of kind of trying to move beyond the proof of concept, if you will, has a unique opportunity to use AI as a force multiplier, not as a replacement for human being. I want to have that distinction made, but that's what it is. It costs literally 10% of what a human being would be doing with the same function, faster, cheaper, better.
So replacement of a human. Give us your take on what is it that the technology, from a business owner perspective, what is it, how should they be thinking about this? All right, what should I be having the technology do, whether it's tomorrow for some companies or in a year from now? And what should I be having humans do? Or do I need humans at all?
Well, the real answer here is that if you're looking at AI as a way to solve a problem, such as getting faster deliveries, getting better customer service, you're not quite getting what AI is for. If you decide that you want to have a business problem and explore how it impacts your businesses, really start by looking inside your company and saying, we got a problem. And that problem requires a human being that actually can articulate what is the benefit of getting it better, getting faster, getting cheaper, provide better customer service, more content creation, wherever you choose. But when you get to the point where you know what it is that you're trying to say, then having an agentic AI, which is simply another way of saying an AI agent that is programmed to take your information and make it better and distribute it much faster to more people, then it makes sense. So what people are missing, they're jumping right into, let's put AI into our system without actually having defined the problem that they're having, for example, in accounting or in customer service calls that are getting stuck and maybe are sent to now a chat robot that is not equipped with the emotional intelligence that is needed to actually humanize your company. And in fact, it does the opposite. Like I write in my book, it creates mistrust and it creates a situation where you rather go to your local pharmacy, for example, if you're looking for medication and you can get it online, or in your local pharmacy. That's the difference. The local pharmacy still has a guy or a lady that actually know what they're giving you and can explain something. So if you do it the wrong way, AI can hurt you. If you think about a business problem that is real in your business, that's really where AI could be the best assistant. And to answer your kind of last part of your question, will it be any time, or should we think about let's replace everybody and just use AI agents? The answer to that is, if you think that all personalities are alike, that's where you kind of fall into that fallacy of thinking that AI agents are going to run your business. And I get myself, and I'm sure you do as well, solicitations from companies that say, we can build you an AI agent that will increase your productivity, get you more leads, whatever it may be. But they don't know me. They don't know the company. And even their solicitations are so easy to spot because it was written by a robot. There was no personalization. There's nothing with a persona that would make me connect with. So having a company that is all AI agent, the whole company has to be only in the business of selling data. And then if that's the case, you still need to have a customer service person that actually knows the difference between being compliant, as in we deliver the goods at 96% of the time, versus we deliver the goods at 96% of the time, but the customer is not happy. AI tends to give you the benchmarks and the engagement rates. And now we're creating a lot of vanity type KPIs for small business owners to say, hey, here's more stuff that got sent out. It's more effective. But nobody asks the question in the small to mid-sized market, what is it actually that matters? And it reminds me of a quote that I was inspired by many years ago, like in doing kind of the college degree, where Albert Einstein says, not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. And that's where we are. People are struggling with understanding the difference between what really counts and what can be counted.
A lot to unpack there. The first thing that comes to mind, if I understood you correctly, you're suggesting what's a problem in your business that you want to tackle, or what's something in your business that you want to improve, and then how can AI help me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There are still too many people, I think, saying, hey, I have this AI, what can I do with it? As opposed to literally starting with a business problem.
Yeah. And if somebody basically stopped at your door and dumped 10 gallons of liquid gold that is very high right now and appreciates more than ever in the marketplace, given the economy, having the gold doesn't mean that you have a business now, or that you have whatever metaphorically you're trying to achieve, and use the gold in every part of your business, because gold is just gold. The brain and the persona of the company and the specific issues that can make the company better have to be identified, have to be benchmarked. One of the things that we do with our customers, which I recommend for everyone, is to index what from 0 to 10, what do we do well? What do we believe we don't do well? That could be, for example, culture. It could be employee delivery. And then go and ask customers, actual customers, not through a survey with SurveyMonkey, but an actual conversation, and ask them the same questions. And what happens if somebody inside the company gives yourself an 8? And when you go to the customers and ask the same question, you get the answer of, no, you're a 2 in this category. That becomes an issue of decision-making, where the good guys, if you will, or the ones that are successful, are the ones that actually stop. And they can look at that and say, we got for example, a customer service problem, and we need to fix it and create a new way of dealing with it. And then use AI to force multiply. How do we get the results that we want faster? But only through that educational process. So no institutional knowledge equals AI failure.
Yeah. In terms of our experience here, as well as speaking with people who are doing really well in terms of AI adoption, I couldn't agree more.
The reviews are in, and leaders are calling Rob Levin's new book a game changer. The New Talent Playbook, the ultimate guide to building your dream team, is now available, and it's your roadmap to winning the war for talent and scaling with total confidence. Don't just take our word for it. Order your copy today and see why it's a must-read for every SMB leader. Find it on Amazon.com or learn more at thenewtalentplaybook.com.
So let's fast forward a bit. Maybe it's 2027 or 2028. Hopefully, many small businesses, small and mid-sized businesses, have really started properly adopting AI. How does the role of the people that were doing the work, how might that change?
When you look at 2027 and beyond, the concept that there are two groups of people, there are a group of people that are scared to death that they're going to be replaced or displaced by AI agents, and the second one that are looking forward to learning. There's a statistic that just came out from college graduates about how a lot of them are afraid that they're not going to be able to have a job or keep a job with AI because AI will just replace whatever skills they have. And that is a completely wrong way of thinking about it. The right way of thinking about it is maybe you had a skill of, for example, creating Excel sheets. But in the next generation, AI will have the institutional knowledge downloaded from you and then say, how can we create a better product or a service? How can we improve the content that we're creating, the case studies, the user scenarios? How do we create a user-friendly website? And the answer cannot and will not come from just KPIs and metrics. It will come from a person that took the time to learn how to use AI and actually absorb it and integrate it into the business. And that's really how I see it. 27, 28, in terms of the 2 years ahead, beyond 2026, my prediction is that a lot more businesses are going to understand that, no, they don't need to get rid of the people that are doing their job. They need to get rid of people that are used to doing their job in one way and never look to the right or left, which we all can imagine any company that we work with. When you pass by kind of a cubicle farm, for example, and people that have been on a job for 30 years, and the most kind of common example that I use, because we're in the marketing and branding industry, is you go into that cubicle farm and you see somebody that holds the position of account manager in their 50s. And then there's another person that's been with that agency only for 5 years or 10 years, and they're the vice president. What's the difference between the two if all things are equal? The answer is, one, stop learning at a certain point and say, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to do again and again and again. So wherever there's a repetition that can be spotted, that's where those jobs are going away. Wherever there is the need to disrupt and to improve and to go beyond your comfort zone, even for a very successful company, you need people. And you need people that know the liberal arts, that know philosophy, the history of the world, and the technology information that would make it great.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure our colleges are doing a good job equipping.
They suck. They really suck. And the reason that they suck is that they're stuck in a paradigm that was correct 20 years ago. And right now, plumbers can make more money than a college graduate.
Yeah.
And is that what we want as a society? Maybe it has to be like that way as we go through the Industrial Revolution.
Right. I guess that the college discussion is one we can have some other time, Gal.
Sure.
And I'd love to do that. So I want to come back to something you said earlier about trust. So AI, of course, is showing up, at least it should be showing up. I know it is at Work Better Now in marketing and sales and operations. And at the same time, trust has never mattered more. Customers need to trust you. Your employees need to trust you. Maybe even your vendors need to trust you. How should employees be thinking about trust and this craving for trust that we have? Because we live in a world where I think trust is diminishing by the second, and AI. How do we think about this?
The first thing that, whether it's the employees or the company, but let's focus on the employees of a company, is you need to have a form of an ethos, if you will, and corporate values that are not cliches. Like, for example, we're helping to save the environment when we're creating a better pen. That might be true and factually something that the company wants to achieve to be climate friendly, but it does not help carrying that as the primary value when you're competing against under values of, it writes faster, it has better ink, whatever it is that you want to apply to a product. And what we see a lot, and for the book, I interviewed a lot of people from both perspectives of management and employees. And the biggest thing that I found was a complete disconnect between what management wants to achieve and what employees are able to articulate about the same products and services that they are taking to the marketplace. In the past, you could obfuscate it by having good advertising and good PR. Now, it all depends on your digital footprint of the company. So if you want to know about a company, for example, if it's a good company to work for, you go to Glassdoor. If you want to know if the company has good service, you can go to Trustpilot. And if you don't take care of the digital footprint of keeping and creating trust, in identifying where trust is breaking because of whatever business reason it is, that's where things start falling apart. And your brand could be a multi-billion-dollar business or $100,000 business. When you lose the reputation, it will take you a few more years and millions of dollars to restore the trust that you lost only because you didn't benchmark where you are and you didn't create the right artifacts that are needed to believed in the marketplace, to be believed and really kind of with conviction.
That makes a ton of sense. I think the digital world is a lot of the reason why trust has been on the decline and why people are craving it so much. Can you bring AI into that picture? Where does AI and trust sit on some sort of continuum?
The continuum really is that if you think of the world through the eyes of AI enabled, AI based, there are two different things. AI enabled means that you're using it to build trust by using multiple skills that AI can give you as agentic AI. For example, you don't have a writer in your business, or you have a content creator that actually can put stuff in social media or promote the company. That's where AI can help. But the ones that really are stuck with were not AI based, you basically are saying in managing your company in a way that allows it to be run by a robot. The robot does not have feelings. The robot does not have the ability to create trust. The latest thing that makes me laugh very hard, especially after I wrote these books that we're talking about, is to hear somebody tell me that they learned that there are 5 or 8 trust signals that are produced via AI that can be applied to a script of a salesperson that is making a call or a pitch to someone. And when you start and think about it just for a second, what it really means is that you let a robot decide what is trusted and what cannot be trusted. Trust is a human quality, and you can only create better trust in terms of kind of quality and volume and belief in the marketplace by really pushing it through the enablement of AI, but not a replacement of what it is that you're doing. So the CEO needs to have values. The CEO needs to think about the product in the same way. A very quick example, if I may. When Boeing had the issue of a little part, a very small part, maybe 10 inches long, square feet, whatever it may have been, was basically identified as defective. The quality assurance person that was working on it, communicating it to a supervisor, communicated it to the department, but it never got up the food chain to the management of Boeing at the time, about 3 years ago or so. And then a plane crashed. And then it took them almost 3 to 5 years to restore to the proposition that they're all about safety first, which they were known for. And they still basically are, but nobody believes them. So let's take AI and put the 5 ways of creating trust via AI, and I will tell you it won't work because you're not actually doing the right things that, for example, transparency, collaboration with media organizations, a third-party validation institute that tells you Now our safety is much better, and here's how to avoid it next time. These are the genuine things that are being missed when you just go crazy with AI.
Yeah. So going back to the discussion we had about how roles may or may not evolve, I'm putting two things together here. When somebody realizes that AI is not a good resource for judgment, and I'm putting it mildly, that's kind of how I see roles evolving, which is you still need humans now, maybe instead of doing the work, but judging the work and reviewing the work and making the changes to AI based on the human judgment, which as of today, humans can do and AI cannot. Well, some humans can do, but AI cannot do it for sure. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And you really kind of hit it on the head, if you will, by identifying that purpose and using Simon Sinek book, The Why, which is not a way of saying purpose. The purpose of what you're doing and the passion that you have about your business, even if you're like a CPA within a company that sells cybersecurity software, it doesn't really matter, is everybody signed up for making things better because it helps achieve some either social or business goal. And what people are doing right now that I think is hurting their business is they skip that part and they say, well, it's all about getting more responses from people. So let's use AI agents to get more marketing done. You're not trying to get marketing done. You're trying to use marketing to communicate something that will build trust or
Connect. Yeah.
higher quality of engagement. So I urged any one of the listeners and viewers of your show to go look for KPIs that talk about the quality of engagement. And the answer would be there aren't any. There are vanity KPIs that show you how everything's better with AI. And I am a great believer in AI and I want it to get better, but the measurements that I'm talking about are all have to be attached to the company's goals and the quality of thinking that is happening at the C-suite and management level and in the innovation level where you have an actual employee coming to management with an innovation. And they tested it on AI is not the answer that you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. So putting all of this together, if you're sitting across from a business owner that's still struggling with what can AI do for me and they're a little overwhelmed, where they don't know where to start, what would you suggest them?
First, hire a management consultant. It could be by the hour, it could be by the drink, whatever we want to call it. It does not have to be an expensive proposition because what the management consultant or business consultant can do or a coach is really kind of create a vision and mission and a purpose for your business that you already have, but you never articulated it in a clear way to create a critical path to actually success and failure, that you got to experience both. When you do that, now you can see what is the biggest problem that you have. What are the things that are assets and what are the things that are liabilities? If they're liabilities, how do you solve it by using AI agents based on the input that you're giving them? That's really the easiest way to think about it. The wrong way to think about it, and I'm very hard-headed about that part, is let's get AI because our competitors got it, and then mass replicate the same problems that they do, which destroys trust, which at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to accomplish in a world where there's no more trade shows that you can shake hands at. There are few, but that's not how you meet people. You meet them online. You meet and research who they are before you meet them, if ever. And then you're communicating via video a lot more time than you're actually sitting and having lunch together, unless you're literally a CEO to CEO type of relationship. So that's why it's so important to pay attention to that. So small business, whatever you're paying your CPA and your lawyer for a review, a very small investment can create a process for you where you know what is the focus problem that you really need to solve. And then the next question is, how do you do it? And the answer may not be AI, but when you find out that you have all the ingredients to do it in-house, but you just don't know how to do it 100x faster, that's where you bring the AI agent in. Never do it by having an AI agent company actually tell you we can do things faster, because faster does not mean that it's better.
Right. And got to think qualitatively in addition to quantitatively. Gal, this has been fantastic. Where can people, and thank you, where can people find out more about you and your company?
You can go to our website at borensteingroup.com. And if you're interested in direct communications with me for the listeners and viewers of the show, I will offer a free consultation. All you have to do is go to LinkedIn, Gal Bornstein, and drop me a note and connect. And I will offer some key elements of what you need to do next and identify the problem. And if you really kind of want to understand the why and the how and the what of trust, go to Amazon.com and order one of my books. The latest books, again, that are very relevant to today's environment is Don't Believe the Hype. And the other one is Beating Goliath with AI, which turns around the information into Goliath is your biggest competitor, but you can be David and use digital slingshots to kill the big guys.
Digital slingshots. I love it. Gal, thanks so much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening. The New Talent Playbook podcast is brought to you by Work Better Now. Don't forget to review, subscribe, and download the workbook for this episode at the link below. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on LinkedIn at the New Talent Playbook Podcast or visit thenewtalentplaybookpodcast.com.